Hi everybody, welcome to UEA's Nursing Podcast. My name's Joe Ellis-Gage and today we've got one of our Meet the Lecturer episodes with Ben. Welcome, Ben.
Hiya.
So Ben, we tend to spend the interview chat finding out about you. So just start by telling us who you are and what your role is at UEA.
So as you correctly said, I'm Ben. I'm one of the Clinical Skills Lecturers at UEA. Our job primarily revolves around the teaching of that hands-on core crucial skills that our students within the health sciences need to qualify with.
Yeah, so the students will see you. We've met Tom and we've met Lottie on these before. So they'll see you all through their 3 years on various skill sessions here and there, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where we unless we're your personal advisor, you'll see us most in your MPS 1. We do a little bit of theory every now and then. But like you say, most of the hands-on skills.
Excellent. All right. So let's go back right to the beginning. Obviously, we know what your job is now. Why did you become a nurse? When did you become a nurse?
So my story is it might be atypical, I don't know, but I sort of fell into it. I always had a bit of an inkling that I was interested in the career somehow. Didn't really know which avenue, what to do, sort of thing. Before that, worked in pubs. I was in a band for a while. Then I had to get a proper job. So I thought, right, I'll give it a go. What I did first was I got a job at HCA in an A&E department. First 2 weeks, I absolutely hated it. I thought, what is going on? What have I done? I can't do this. What is happening? When things started to settle, I realised that actually I'd made probably the best choice.
Okay. Well, when you said you couldn't, you thought you'd made the wrong choice at the start. Was it just because you just didn't know what was happening? It was just
absolutely. Just a different world, like the most removed from anywhere you could ever be and put somewhere else straight out of your comfort zone. Yeah. And that massive imposter syndrome. Everybody knows what they're doing apart from me in the beginning. But from there, like I say, the settled, got to know the role, got to know the job, became more comfortable and knew pretty quickly that this is something I wanted to pursue. Yeah. Yeah.
And so from there, you went like, I'll go and apply and go and do the course and become a nurse.
Yeah, I had to do an access course.
Yeah,
which at the time seemed like another obstacle, but actually was quite a good way into it for me personally. You had sort of preamble of like biochemistry and things like that, biosciences and a bit of psychology. So it gave you a nice platform to get you there. So I did that and then applied for my nursing after I qualified from the access to nursing. Yeah,
and a lot of people think see the access course as like a hurdle to get past and it's a bit of a hassle, but actually it sets you really up for the program. If you need to do that course, it's probably really, really helpful.
Don't see it as an issue. See it as a positive, if anything.
Yeah. All right. So I suppose the question that jumps out from that is, what was your band and what did you do in it?
So I was in a few. I've been playing music since I was like 14, 15. But I was in a band called The Limits. We were a little indie band. I had longer, curlier hair. Then I was thinner as well. And I sang, play guitar, and played a bit of harmonica because Bob Dylan is one of my heroes. I don't know if you know about that, but there you go.
That's interesting. Okay. And do you still play music now, but not in a band?
Basically, just in the house when the wife is out or when the windows are closed, essentially now. But it's always there, isn't it? Just in case.
Okay, you've got it on backup. I need to find an occasion that we're going to get you singing and playing your guitar.
This is not how I wanted this to pan out.
Brilliant. Not talking about nursing at all. We're just talking about your musical talent. Yeah. Okay. And so if I Google you, I can find like a YouTube video of the limits.
You might be able to.
Yeah.
You might be able to. Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's what I'll be doing next. So you went to uni. You kicked in the dream of becoming an indie rock star.
Yeah, it was either that or Man United. It didn't work out. So.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's a sensible choice, really, isn't it? Where did you go when you qualified? So you I assume you enjoyed the course. And you're an adult nurse, just to check. Yeah. So everyone knows. Where did you go after you qualified?
So I qualified. I trained at Anglia Ruskin. And I thought I'd like to go somewhere different. Cambridge is a lovely city, but I'd lived there for 3 years. And I thought, I knew of Norfolk, and my brother had lived here for a while beforehand. So I knew sort of the city itself, the beaches, the surrounding sort of countryside, and it sort of ticked a lot of boxes. I applied for the NNN. And my first qualified job was on a EAUS, which is an emergency assessment unit, a surgical umbrella.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you done no other link particularly to being in Norfolk. It's not where you're from or anything like that. It was just nearby. You knew a bit about it, and the right job came up, and there you go.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's quite a nice place to live, I always thought. And this is what we spoke about in my interview, actually, if I remember now. There's a lot of the time we spoke about why did you want to come here, and a bit was, Norfolk is quite nice.
Yeah. Okay. EAUS sounds is a bit in at the deep end again. It's a busy kind of place, a lot of turnaround of patients. And how did that go?
Yeah, a bit more knowledge about the job at this point, obviously. So,
Yeah.
So you expect it, but it's never easy. It's never easy when you qualify. I always tell sort of the newly qualified people the first 3 months are really, really difficult. And if you have a great day within that 3 months, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you're not good at the job. It doesn't mean the job's not worth doing. But yeah, it was difficult. Lots of quick turnover of patients. To add to the mix, we did 11 specialities of surgical nursing, so there was a lot to sort of get to grips with. But actually, once again, a bit like the Access course, as a newly qualified, it was a wonderful place to work.
Yeah.
I stayed there, yeah.
How long were you there for?
Been 6 years, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. And so I suppose that just gives you loads of skills, loads of sort of practical ways of applying stuff. So you're not just doing one thing every day.
No,
you're
exactly. Yeah, you don't become like a specialist of any sort of realm, but we become like a big generalist. So there's lots of things you can do. One thing it does give you is a really good innate sense of who is sick and who's the sickest quickly, which is obviously one of the most important skills you can have, that prioritization of patients, prioritization of then your care within your patients as well. Yeah,
that's one of the things we talk about quite a lot in NPS 1, so in the first year skills. Like the most important thing you can do is just work out who's sick and who's not.
Exactly.
Which sounds like a really simple statement, but it's not always that straightforward.
No, definitely not. And we can teach you the theory and we can teach you the practical of how to do it. But it does come with time as well. And that was a great place to learn it,
and students will often go, oh, but someone talked about like the gut instinct or whatever. That gut instinct is a real thing, but it's also based on years of experience and knowledge and all of that makes that gut instinct really important. And that's the same, it's a good place to learn it in EAUS. But that's the same in the community. If you're working out who you can leave at home and who you need to call back up for, medical wards, specialist nursing, whatever, you've still got to work out who's sick and who needs to be prioritised.
Yeah, there's not a place I don't think you can work and not have that.
Yeah.
It just isn't. So.
Yeah. And so how do we get from newly qualified nurse who then goes to work on EAUS to clinical skills lecturer?
What's
the pathway from there?
Again, sort of was always a bit conscious that I enjoyed working with students a lot. I enjoyed having students with me to work with and teach them. And I applied for, when I got asked to do like a basic life support cascade trainer role. Mm-hmm. So you were responsible for your unit and you would deliver their sort of basic life support annual update. And again, that was more like a toe in the water sort of thing, see how we could do. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the different aspects it brought to the job. I helped out on a few of the sort of like clinical education days that our clinical educator Helen put on. So can I have a bit of a hand in this? And she agreed. And then again, it sort of just it sort of ignited that. Yeah, okay, this is what I want to do, I think. And then I saw a job come up here at UEA for a clinical skills lecturer, and that was a new role then. It was the first time we'd had it because of the Annex B for NMC coming in, so it was a lot more skills focused as well. I applied for it, didn't think I was going to get it because I had sort of, not concrete being an educator experience. But got the job, got the interview, got the job. From I haven't looked back there, really, I enjoy it so much. It's definitely the right thing. I'm lucky that I fell into that and thought, this is good. Leaving the hospital was difficult. So I've only become full-time here since March.
Yeah.
I
you did a couple of years of 3 years.
Yeah. And it was difficult because you think you weren't always based one, you'd miss out on different things on different parts because you weren't full-time anywhere. But having said that, the biggest thing is, this sounds a bit corny and everyone would be like, no, you don't. But it's the patient contact is something that you definitely miss. And that side of it, the fast pace and the emergency side of care, I need to do a few bank shifts. I haven't done any yet, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Duty of candour and everything. But still on the cards, and I still miss that side of it. But definitely happy to have the role I have now. Yeah,
and the clinical skills team has got bigger, and you're doing more. So rather than, I guess, when you started, it was more like, can you come and teach the session? Now you're like building things, developing things, leading on sort of skills stuff.
Yeah, and like anything with a job, having that more, not just autonomy, but that sort of bigger impact. And again, that's been better for me personally since I've been full-time. I've been here to give, all I can. That has definitely just added to the job, yeah.
Great. And then, so clearly you enjoy working here. You enjoy spending time with students and with your team. If you were going to give a new student a tip, so say you've got your first student, then all just starting, they're again thinking, right, I've got skills, I've got placement. What would be your tip to a new student to get the most out of their training?
I would say don't underestimate or overestimate probably the amount of time you have, because things will creep up on you quickly.
Yeah.
Your assignments, obviously, you think, okay, that's a long time away, that's fine, but there's a lot of pre-work that goes into producing a good piece of work at the end academically. And having to balance that with your skills, with your placements as well, is difficult. But that's that's a skill you learn as well. You learn to prioritize again, and you bring that into nursing. You can prioritize something else, your time management. I would say, don't overestimate the time you have.
Yeah.
It is a tough course, but it's meant to be tough.
Yeah. It needs to be tough.
It needs to be tough, absolutely. So don't give yourself a hard time if you find it is tough. It's supposed to be. And seek support is what I would say. Definitely seek support. If if you're not sure on like an academic subject or a skill or any sort of active nursing, there's so many different people you can talk to. Use it.
And I think we said on some of the other interviews, there's the support for you, but we only know you need it if you ask for it.
Yeah.
You've got to come out and ask questions, make the most of it, make the most of all the lecturers you've got here so you can help.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I think that's given us an introduction to you. So when students have you as their advisor or see you in a skills session, they'll know your background. They'll have watched your band videos on YouTube before they come in. And we'll see. That's great. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode of Meet the Lecturer with Ben. Please hit like on it if you have, share it with friends, click subscribe, and you'll get alerts to new videos. Any questions, comments, etc., add them into the comments below, and we can always answer and get back to you. And explore the channel, because there's loads more videos that you may not have seen yet. Thanks very much. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.